Starting to the top right of the map, we have the Casper player in blue. This is
CJ 엔투스 뿅.
His opponent to the bottom left in the red. Strong Terran from the Team Prime, he is.
Byun Prime.
Byun in the first game with a loss against Sniper. This is 0-1 in the group. This is his second game today. And we actually didn't cast this game so far.
Yeah, I guess not.
We had a live versus live, Mana versus Nama, Maru versus Moro, Hero versus Hero. Now we have Bbyong versus Byun.
Yes. Gas first for Byun. One very enthusiastic fan in the crowd about that.
I like this. When those builds collide, when you have really early aggression for one player, that's pretty awesome. But we don't have the CC as a follow-up for Bbyong. Instead, we have him with the gas just a tiny little bit later.
Usually, the player who goes for the gas a little bit later gets a build advantage because they have the gas to defend and they have the faster command center.
Exactly. You get the command center a little bit faster and you will also be able, no matter what you see, to defend against it. If there's going to be a Banshee play, if there's going to be Hellion drops, you can get the Viking out in time to zone that out. So, it's a slight advantage that you have, but ooh, double gas.
Yeah, and a tech lab.
This is going to be interesting. This is not really what I expected here. I expected Bbyong to go into a command center now. Well, he started his tech, but not commit this heavily to it.
I think he's just going to go Reaper first into Banshees, but this can be... this build can be really strong, but it can also just really hurt you because it delays your tech significantly. So when you go double gas, you obviously lose a lot of mining in your main base because you have to put 3 more harvesters into the second refinery, not to mention the 75 minerals it costs to make one.
Exactly. You just lose a lot of mineral income that you usually would have, where you can build your command center a little bit faster, you can dedicate the resources to the additional SCVs, and of course also to additional production facilities. Right now, Bbyong is really going for a very, very tech-aggressive strategy. And on the other hand, we have Byun, who plays this really standard, also adding the second gas, but a lot later than his opponent.
Yeah, he's doing it at a timing where you're just going to see normal Cloak Banshees. Bbyong is making multiple Reapers.
This is something that we haven't seen in a long time.
It can be really good against the build that Byun is doing because Byun is not making any Marines at all. The only thing he's going to have to defend is the Hellion. He has 1 Marine and the Hellion that's about to come out. That's all he has. And this is going to be a big problem when the second Reaper runs. The Marine runs away.
He is already the scout. He kills the Marine. He sees the Hellion, moves back immediately, decides to fight. And this is actually the funny thing that you have. You can do a lot of damage with Reapers against Hellions, but, well, if you would have had the second one already, that would have been so much better for him.
Yeah. Now as it stands, Byun has a big advantage because he has Cloak coming out with the Banshee coming out. Actually hasn't started yet, but it will start in a few seconds. When he gets that Banshee over there, Bbyong will have a Viking, but he's not going to have a lot of detection. He's not going to have a second command center, and he doesn't have an eBay yet.
Bbyong, with all this excess gas, this really early second refinery gives him all the gas that he's not even using at this point. He wants to go into apparently Cloak Banshees. At least I have no other explanation why you would need this much gas early on. And there's is the Cloak upgrade and first Banshee.
When you have 2 players going for Cloak Banshees, things can get a little bit weird. Oh, does he get the Hellion? No.
That was really close, though.
He... Does he see the Cloak Banshee?
No, he doesn't.
Because if he had, I would have expected him to start a Raven. So I guess, yeah, he just doesn't know. This gets weird when you have 2 players going for Cloak. Because if you're microing your Banshee, it's hard for you to micro your defense against his Banshee.
I actually think it's always a really funny scenario where multitasking just really comes into play. Both of them are adding the engineering base, so they can build missile turrets, but yeah, it's really a battle of who can attack and defend at the same time, who is fast enough with his multitasking to pay attention to 2 points at the map.
Well, Byun takes out a Hellion, but his Banshee is spotted as a result, and this could trigger a second Viking Viking made instead of a Banshee for Bbyong, but he doesn't do it.
We have missile turrets for both of them now, so they really know what's coming here. They already want to prepare. Question also is if Cloak for one of them is going to be cancelled, but this is not really the case. Cloak still being researched also for Bbyong. and he will let it complete. The Banshee battle is about to start though.
Yep, here we go. Byun has the cloak first, starts taking out Marines, and again, Bbyong comes in, his cloak's now finished, and they're both just finding the perfect spot. This is just a weird situation.
Yeah, and look how many Marines he's losing. He is losing a lot of those. Now finally where the first Viking is being built, this time for Byun. Bbyong is doing a lot of damage at the bottom left, but he's losing not only SCVs, but also Marines in his own main base.
Right now, the better micro definitely goes to Bbyong, I feel, but Byun has done the better damage initially.
21 against 27 Harvesters. Things are really getting ugly for Bbyong now. He lost so many SCVs and he already lost a lot of Marines. He doesn't have a lot of forces to defend against this anymore.
He starts a Viking way too late.
Exactly.
And the scans here are good for Byun. And Byun is going to push this Banshee back, takes a massive lead in this game.
He is so much ahead. He has 15 supply advantage over his opponent. He's still taking down Harvesters. Harvesters lost 9 to 11 in favor of Byun at this point.
But the Marines are what makes up the difference,
yeah.
You know, as you said before.
Look at this, another scan, and things are over for this Banshee. Only 22 hit points left, and is soon running out of energy anyways. To the top right, how many CVs does he have left? 12? 12 against 21.
Yep, 12 against 21. The Marine count 5-1, but much more Marines lost for Bbyong.
Bye Banshee, boom.
Commander started a lot earlier, obviously, for Byun as well, because he had the more resources because he didn't lose his Harvesters. And he also had the faster Banshee, so his attack went out. And that's what I was talking about earlier with the Reapers. It's like, well, this can work, but you're going to lose mining. And then if your Reapers don't do anything and you go into Cloak Banshees, why didn't you just go into Cloak Banshees? The Reapers accomplished nothing. They didn't even scout Byung's Cloak Banshees.
And if you think about what happened is the player with the faster second gas got the Cloak and the Banshee much later.
Yeah. It's because of the gas on the Reapers. That's
yeah.
100 gas on 2 Reapers plus the Tech Lab.
Exactly. As you just said, this is just his investment and it didn't work out for him. Right now, we have a massive lead for Byun.
Yep, and he's just going to continue to play safely here. Commander on the high ground. Bbyong may just try to hit a timing with the siege tanks, but Byun is not skipping his siege mode. He's being very safe here, and I don't think Bbyong is going to be able to win this game either way. Whether he tries to just sit back and play a game where he's already behind, or if he tries to hit a timing, it just doesn't seem to be successful.
He has to hope for mistakes. This is definitely true. If Byun plays this just standard and yeah, very safe, then there is nothing that Bbyong can do about it. He has to hope for a mistake, for a good engagement, for maybe something really ingenious that he can pull off here. But in the end, the lead that we have for the Prime player is so significant that it's going to be very difficult to turn the tides of this game.
Yeah, he's going to try to hit that timing, but I mean, this just looks pitiful. The army of Byun that he has at home is already better.
Yeah. The army size is now 39 against 32 in favor of Byun. And his siege mode will also be completed before this attack hits.
He's going to have the Raven to help out. This is something Bbyong has as well. But
he's doubling his opponent's harvesters. The income is so much better here for the Prime player. Byun in a very good spot. He also sees what's going on here. He's still producing Banshees.
As the Raven shots off, and that Banshee is going to be so important, like you said.
Yeah.
Coming out here, he has Cloak on it. If he can kill the Raven, which should be relatively easy since he already wasted his point defense drone, then the Banshee is just going to be able to kill everything here. Oh, he gets the first shot off on the siege tank as well.
He can zone him out now completely. And there comes the Banshee into play, pushing the siege tanks already back, and GG. Bbyong doesn't even try to fight anymore. He knows exactly that this was his last chance. Going for this all-in was his last hope, and the defense for Bbyong was just way too good.
Yeah, that was a game where, as far as it goes for Cloak Banshees, players who go Reapers first definitely get behind.
Yeah. Very interesting game here. And now from one mirror match into another, from a TVT, we are heading into a Zerg versus Zerg. Our next match is going to be between Sniper and Su. And interestingly enough, with the situation in the group as it is, Su currently on 0-2, Sniper on 1-1. If Su loses, he's out. Then he has no chance of advancing to Contest today. He will not be able to get first or second place. So a very important match for him, probably the most important one. There is still the chance that we will have a wildcard group. There is no final decision on it just yet. Wildcard group means that the players that rank third in each group will get another shot at a separate group. at the end of the up and downs, but there's no final decision on this just yet. And if there is going to be a wildcard group, it won't be broadcasted. The studio here in Mukdong, it's the last day. Tomorrow the studio will actually move to Gangnam, and because of this, there is no chance of a broadcast happening.
Yep, so whether there's matches or not, you guys won't be able to watch them, you'll only be able to hear about them. But we'll just talk about that as it becomes a little bit more relevant coming through to the next few matches, because right now, the only thing that matters for Sue is that he stays in the Codas, because he doesn't know either if he's going to have that opportunity in the wildcard group. And nobody wants to be in the wildcard group. It's a nice added benefit that you can have, but you want to just get through right now.
Exactly. One of the things that you might also wonder about is what happened to Rain if you tuned in a little bit later. We originally had a 6-player group today, but Rain got a direct seed to Code S. He's already qualified therefore, and we have now 5 players fighting for those 2 spots. Currently doing really well is Flying, who has 2 wins and not a single loss. Sue is kind of becoming the punching bag of this group. This is the image that he wants to get rid of in the next game in the Zerg versus Zerg, and he has to win against Sniper, who's currently at 1-1, same score that Byun and Bbyong have. So they are tied for second place, those 3 players that I just pointed out. And the next game is going to determine a lot, not only for Sue but also for Sniper, setting the pace for the next game.
And the map is Belshire Vestige. It's our Zerg versus Zerg for the group. We've seen a lot of cool Zerg versus Zergs in the last few days, just Mutas versus Infestors. A lot of players starting to favor Mutas more and more, and you know, you have to wonder if this is partially because so many Zergs are playing Heart of the Swarm recently, or if it's just because they figured out how to use the Mutas a little bit better, or at least they feel they do.
We still see a lot of Hydra, Roach, and Infestor, of course. So you have various strategies that you can go for, and I'm pretty interested to see if Sue is now really losing his 3rd game as well. I had him picked as one of the favorites for today's group, and I'm very surprised so far by his results. He showed us strong games in Code A, but today he seems just a little bit off in comparison.
Yeah. Not quite up to his normal par, but this is the most important match for him going into the rest of the group. If he loses it, he's not going into Codas, at least not initially, here at the GSL Up and Downs Group E cast by Cal.